What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nunface here, and today I want to talk a little bit about this guy right here. This is the ZT0566. So it is a continuation of the earlier ZT Hinderer models. And this one's a little bit different than some of the others. So just to kind of recap, they initially released the 0560, or I'm sorry, strike that. The 0550 was the first one, I believe, and that was going to be a non-flipper thumb stud model. It had pretty thick scales, modeled after the XM18, 3.5 inch blade, stainless steel stainless steel frame, and G10 overlay on that one there. And then they came out with the 0560, which was beefed up in size, all titanium, with G10 and a few different varieties on that, and the 0561, and then they came to the 0566, which is this guy right here, which is a little bit smaller, with a 3.25 inch blade as opposed to the minimum of 3.5. So it's a little more compact, but it still stays along those lines of the 0560, insofar as it has the stainless steel frame right there. So it is a frame lock. It is not titanium. It is a stainless steel one, which gives it a little bit more heft than people may be expecting out of a knife this size. So speaking of size, we'll go into a few size comparisons right now. So right there is kind of my Spyderco Para 2 stand-in. This is the Stretch 2, sporting some micarta scales right there. So that's going to be a little bit bigger in the blade, about 1/4 inch bigger right there. And then we're gonna have the Spyderco Native 5. So that one's gonna be a little bit smaller at about a 3-inch blade, not 3.25. Yeah, about a 3-inch blade on that one right there. Let's see, what else do we have here? We'll go ahead and, since it's somewhat similar in size, we'll put the Medford Slim Midi right there. This, of course, is the S90V DLT exclusive version. Pretty close in size overall, right there to the Medford Slim Midi. And here is its big brother, the ZT0561. So this is the 6.1, sports a G10 scale, brown G10 scale as opposed to a black G10 scale. This one, previous owner had tried to take out the laser ano a little bit, kind of scour it off, but it's all still right there. So this one is in L-Max and it's all TI there. This one even has the lock bar insert, which is indicative of later models of the 0561. So you can see right there quite easily big size difference, both not just the handle, but also the blade, of course. But it's all got the same sort of lines to it. They're both flipper knives, but you can also use the thumb stud. This is just, obviously, it's more in line with the XM24 than the 18. That's the 24 right there. So there's your XM24. So this one would be even smaller than the XM18. So it's much smaller than the XM24, as you can see. And this one, the 0561, is closer to the XM24 than it is to the XM18, but it is kind of right in the same ballpark as far as size go, but it does lean a little bit more heavily towards the XM24. So that being said, this model right here, it is only it's an assisted opener. Okay, so it's got ZT Speed Safe, or Kershaw's Kai Speed Safe, whoever you want to call it. And yeah, it's quite a bit heavier at 5.3 ounces. Now that's for the G10 version. This one's carbon fiber, so you might take a little bit off the weight, being carbon fiber as opposed to G10, but not that much. A little background on this one here. This came to me as in really rough shape. I mean, really rough shape. The edge was pretty much destroyed. The action was real gritty, real rough on it. It was just banged up pretty badly. And it needed some work, so I initially just broke it all down. First thing is, basically the same day it came to me, I went ahead and I took it all apart, and there was some corrosion on the inside of the scale here. So both these scales, or I shouldn't say scales, this frame, and then of course this scale liner right here, they're both stainless, but there was corrosion in there, a lot of grittiness. I mean, it looked like the previous owner had EDC'd this for a long time, but not used it a whole bunch. So it had just ridden around in their pocket. I mean, the edge was used and everything else, but it looked like it was still on the factory edge. It had just never been sharpened, never touched up, anything like that. So, but it had likely been carried every day for years, and it really showed in the action. It was real stiff. Even with the assisted opener, it was stiff. And so I just took it down. I soaked it. I scrubbed it. I mean, I just used like dish soap, and I just kind of scrubbed it down, let it soak in that a little bit, and then just kind of cleaned everything off. Put some, lubed it with some white lithium grease on the washers. Put some grease on the assisted opening, because it wasn't a very good de-assisted knife. I mean, I tried to keep the speed safe out, because I really like to do that, but I honestly, I forgot to take note whether there was a detent hole in this blade or not. Let's see if we can see together right now. Now, I know in the 0300 there isn't. There is a detent hole in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there is one right there. So maybe with some fiddling, it would be a better unassisted knife than I initially had it. But it being what it is, it's one of those knives where I'm like, I really don't mind it being assisted. It really doesn't bother me that much. I mean, it does. It's maybe not as fidgety, but the action's really good on it. But yeah, it was in rough shape when I got it. And the only thing that's worse for wear now, really, that you can even tell, is the clip. So I'm probably just going to end up contacting ZT and asking them to send a new clip, because they're real good about that. They'll go ahead and send new hardware, as long as you don't need everything under the sun. They'll go ahead and send screws if you need them, clips if you need them, washers, pivot systems. You just got to go onto their website and just request the parts. You put in a parts request, and they'll go ahead and send all that stuff out to you. So this is also, it kind of falls into those knives where there's a lot of people that want to see knives like this come back from ZT. Now, this isn't, the overbuilt, bigger, heavier knives. I mean, this isn't really all that heavy. This is pretty hefty just with the stainless steel liners. But, it still falls into that classic ZT category that a lot of people that I talk to on Instagram and here on YouTube as well, they really want to see come back. I think if they did this model, and they did it, TI's lock side, so the frame lock portion would be all titanium. They could do a titanium, and they could do full tie, but if they wanted to do, even a titanium scale liner, maybe if they were going to go steel like they do on the 0562 CF, if they were going to do steel, maybe mill it out a little bit. And save some weight, kind of bring it up to modern standards, and then not have it be assisted as well. I think that would be a real hit. So this is one of those knives that I think a lot of people would like to see come back, because it is really an EDC friendly size. With that 3 1/4 inch blade. A lot of people don't want a knife with an almost 4 inch blade. It's just more than they really want to kind of put in their pocket every day for all sorts of different reasons. Now, me, I do prefer the larger models. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface, you know that, I do like bigger knives, bigger folding knives. So this one, I'm not sure that this one's going to stick around for me. I do have other knives that kind of are in that space that I like just a little bit more. One of them, of course, being this Medford right here. Looks like it's got quite a bit of tape residue or something on there. That's probably just going to have to stay. No big deal. Deal with that later. But, I don't know if this knife for me is going to stick around. I may contact ZT and have a new clip put on, or I may just go ahead and put it up for sale on Instagram or Blade Forums or something like that. I'm not sure yet. It's probably, excuse me, it's probably not going to be a keeper for me. But I know that there are people that really like this particular model and would like to have it, so I may just pass it on to somebody else, either through sale or trade, something like that. But yeah, if ZT wanted to redo a model, I think they'd have a lot of success with this one. I don't know how motivated they would be to do so, because I'm sure in their current catalog they have knives that fit this role without having to go to Hinderer and get licensing renegotiated and everything else. But if they did want to do something like that, this would be one I'm sure would be well received, as well as the 0550. I'm sure people would love to see an update on that one where it wasn't assisted. Wait, was that one assisted? I don't think that one was assisted, actually. But, full TI instead of stainless steel to kind of cut down on weight. Maybe some milling, steel upgrades. I mean, this one's S35 VN. I don't know if this one was ever offered at anything but S35 VN, because I think Hinderer started moving away from LMAX and going to S35 by the time this one came out. I don't know if it was ever offered in anything other than S35. I could be wrong. Go ahead and jump in the comments if you've seen it in something other than S35. But I mean, I like S35. I'll take S35 over M390 and its analogs almost any day. That's just me. I'm not a huge fan of M390, as many people know. I always find it to be chippy, and it's rarely heat treated right. And even when it is heat treated right, I still find it chippy. So your mileage may vary, but I'm not all that in love with M390. So I will take usually S35 over M390, but re-releasing one like this in the 0550, I think would go over really well if ZT was so motivated to do so. In any case, I wouldn't really call it a full review. It's more of just kind of an overview, just some thoughts on this knife. It is older. Obviously, it's out of production. It's discontinued. But it's just one of those cool kind of classic ZT models that, a lot of people would like to see, come back and maybe make ZT go bold again. In any case, like I did mention before, at Chuck_Nunface is my Instagram handle. Give me a follow on there. If you haven't done so already and you enjoy these videos, go ahead and click that button in the corner there and give me a sub. I definitely appreciate that. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this one, or maybe the 0560 or the 303 or any of those classic ZTs. The 840, the 620, the 630, all those Emerson collabs and Rexford collabs and things like that. Les George collabs. Let me know what you think of some of those. And if you'd like to see ZT go bold again, I definitely would. In any case, thanks a lot for checking it out, y'all. Appreciate it as always. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you next time. Thanks a lot.